I'm really excited to share cultivating a mentorship mindset because it's the foundation of all of my work in mentorship. My name is Noah Daniel. I've been a classroom teacher for 3 decades, and I have 3 children's books published. I wrote and co-authored chapters in a handful of teacher texts, including mentoring for well-being in schools. Through my consulting practice, Building Outside the Blocks, Bob, I develop and facilitate creative solutions for complex problems in education for both students and teachers. One of those solutions became the Mentoree, a mentorship institute for educators. All of these roles are not separate. They are part of the same commitment to education, building community, deepening connections, and growing skills in ourselves and each other. While the umbrella of mentorship can apply across industries and globally, the term itself remains surprisingly uninstructive. Each mentor, mentee, and organization brings different expectations, definitions, and interpretations to the term. Many only understand what it is or even what it could be through their lived experiences. My first official mentor was Elaine, a middle school resource teacher. She valued penmanship and order, while I valued inquiry and experimentation. Her advice felt rigid, unsolicited, and often frustrating. I wondered how I could possibly learn from someone who is so different from me and whose style is so almost opposite to mine. But over time, I realized the more clearly I understood who I was, my values, my strengths, my goals, the more I could learn from the guidance around me, even when it didn't match my style. That experience taught me an essential lesson. Mentorship, in any context, with any definition, works best when you take ownership of your learning and approach relationships with curiosity and reflection. That lesson and many others has stayed with me for almost 30 years, shaping every mentoring relationship I've experienced since. Formal, informal, long term, situational, and short lived. And eventually it led me to what I now call a mentorship mindset. There have been various definitions of this term, so here's how I see it. A mentorship mindset is a way of being grounded in self direction, relationships, and continuous learning. It sees every experience as a chance to grow with and from others. Adopting a mentorship mindset shifts growth from an individual pursuit to a shared relational practice. One year, I was suddenly asked to teach 7th and 8th grade science, subjects I'd never taught before. Walking into the science lab, seeing beakers, Bunsen burners, and then an eye wash station, I felt this wave of panic. But instead of withdrawing like so many of us do when we are freaked out, I leaned into relationships. I reached out to colleagues. I asked questions. I sought guidance. I designed my own pathway for learning. I didn't thrive because I had all the answers. I thrived because I had developed a mentorship mindset. At its core, this mindset rests on two essential conditions: reciprocity and relational trust. Reciprocity is the belief that we can learn from each other, that everyone has something to teach and something to learn. That's our motto at the Mentoree. Relational trust is the sense of belonging and psychological safety that allows people to think out loud, ask questions, and intentionally grow their web of mentors. When these two conditions are present, mentorship becomes fluid and responsive. Sometimes a mentee needs a strategy, sometimes explicit guidance, sometimes simply someone to listen while they think aloud will suffice. A mentorship mindset recognizes the moment and responds in ways that foster growth. Mentorship is not just a single thread, it's more like a living ecosystem. The seeds are the mentorship mindset, the belief that growth doesn't have to happen alone. The roots are the mentoring web developed through the relationships we nurture, the people who challenge us, support us, and help us make sense of experiences. The soil is the context, the relational infrastructure of the cultures, norms, and systems that allow mentorship to flourish or not. When these elements come together, mentorship stops being something transactional and becomes part of the relational fabric of a place. Relationships do what policies and programs alone cannot. They reduce disconnection, strengthen professional identity, and foster belonging. Traditional mentorship models are often hierarchical and episodic: one mentor, one program, one structure. But our world is complex and often isolating. A mentorship mindset leads to something renewable and scalable. When people adopt this mindset, they experience greater agency, taking ownership of their growth. They experience greater efficacy, knowing insight and support are always within reach. Over time, this strengthens resilience as a state, not a trait. Challenges become opportunities for learning rather than reasons to disengage. And when people feel supported, capable, and connected, they are far more likely to stay in their job. A mentorship mindset is permission that so many of us need to reach out and learn from each other throughout our careers and consciously, intentionally build the relationships we need to sustain us. Mentorship then is not just a professional learning strategy. And mentorship stops being something that happens occasionally. It becomes something woven into everyday work. A mentorship mindset means choosing to direct your learning, shape your growth, and stay meaningfully engaged in the work by seeking out the people and perspectives that move you forward. Imagine a culture where every conversation is a potential mentorship moment, where asking for guidance is a practice of self-direction, not weakness, and where learning from peers, mentees, and various sources is simply how work happens, because you're open to learning from everyone. What might change if you approached every interaction with a mentorship mindset? How might it shift how you interpret challenges, respond to experiences, or seek learning? How might your career and your life evolve if growth was always in your hands? A lack of time for meaningful connection is real and challenging. A mentorship mindset doesn't remove the pressures educators face, but it helps reduce the stressors and how we feel when dealing with those pressures. Mentorship mindset is not one more thing to carry. It's a way of showing up that's already within us. Doesn't ask for time, only deeper attention. A mentorship mindset isn't something to add, it's something to activate. As a result, everyday moments become opportunities to listen, to wonder, to share honestly, and to grow alongside others. Through the lens of a mentorship mindset, you begin to see differently, show up differently, and engage more deliberately. That's the power of a mentorship mindset and how truly meaningful professional and personal metamorphosis takes shape. I'm Noah Daniel. I'm really grateful for the chance to share this, and follow us at the Mentoree if you want to learn more about what we're doing in relation to mentorship in education. Have a fantastic day.